Hello and welcome back to Viper Bites NFL draft prospect coverage here. And we have another one here for you today in Mississippi quarterback Matt Corral. Now, hey, before we get into everything that Corral did here at Mississippi at Ole Miss, take a second, rate and review us on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and make sure you give us a good old-fashioned thumbs up, turn on those notifications, and make sure you are subscribed to the Vipers Network. Now, let's get in on this one here right now. Matt Corral. Now, coming out of the famed Long Beach Poly program, Carroll was a U.S. Army All-American selection and an Elite 11 quarterback that competed in the 2017 Nike Open Finals. He was rated as a consensus 4-star prospect and a top 100 recruit by all the major recruiting services out there after throwing for 2,495 yards and 29 touchdowns in his senior season in high school. When we look at Carroll, here are your measurables. 6'2", 212 pounds, 9 5/8 hands. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger hands than, say, one maybe Kenny Pickett there. Now, his 40-yard dash, we are going off his pro day numbers, and we know how maybe misconstrued those pro day numbers could be, but he ran a 40 in 4.8 seconds. The vertical, the broad jump, the 3-cone, the shuttle, all unavailable at that time. Now, a speed score, obviously, this makes it more difficult to talk about, but let's get into what Carroll has kind of accomplished throughout his career at Mississippi and kind of go taking a little trip through time here, if I may. Going back to 2018, Carroll appeared in just 4 contests before being redshirted. But in 2019, Carroll made 4 starts, led the team with 1,362 passing yards and 6 touchdowns. He completed 59% of his passes, and he averaged 136.2 yards per passing per game. Now, obviously, not numbers that jump out at you here. I mean, seriously, leading the team with less than 1,400 passing yards. This was not a Mississippi team that was going to throw the ball. So let's get that out of the way right now. Now, in 2020, he started in 10 games for the Rebels at quarterback, completed over 70% of his passes, throwing for 3,337 yards. Already a huge difference in philosophy and how this offense was going to be run. He also threw for 29 touchdowns. He became just the 4th SEC player ever to finish as NCAA leader in total offense, 384.9 yards per game. He finished 5th in the FBS in passing yards with a 337.7 per contest, and number 7 in passing touchdowns with those mentioned 29. He was number 9 in passing efficiency at 177.6 and number 11 in passing yards per completion at 14.5 yards per completion. Now, he also led the SEC with 8 completions of 40 yards or more, and he earned 3rd team All SEC, according to PFF. Now, in 2021, Carroll completed 68% of his passes for 3,339 yards and 20 touchdowns. He only threw 4 interceptions. He also had 597 yards on the ground and 11 more rushing touchdowns to his credit. One thing that not many quarterbacks were able to accomplish last year, throwing for more than 3,000 yards and rushing for 500 on the ground. And that is something that Carroll was able to accomplish. Okay, so that's telling you all you need to know about his mobility and his ability to throw the ball. Now, the 11 touchdowns, that is the 3rd most on the ground ever by a Rebels quarterback in a single season. He ranks 9th in the FBS here in 2021 in total offense with 327.7 yards per game. Carroll is one of just 3 quarterbacks nationally to have thrown for at least 20 touchdowns and run for another 11. Now, Carroll was also a finalist for the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm, and Carroll, he did lead Ole Miss this season to a 10-2 record and a New Year's 6 Sugar Bowl berth. After just 6 passing attempts, he had to exit that game, unfortunately, because of a badly sprained ankle. Now, when we look at the strengths and weaknesses, how some scouts may view Matt Corral going here into the draft. He throws a tight spiral. He's got that quick release. He made major improvements in growth in his decision-making over this last couple seasons. He has the ability to slip away if needed, but rather eat a sack than throw the ball into coverage. And he's got some nice touch on that deep ball when given time. Now, his weaknesses, hey, lots of RPOs there in college. Not really a pro-style offense there at Ole Miss. If his feet aren't set, the placement of the ball could be led to some turnovers here at the next level. Now, if you want next level analysis, you're going to want to make sure you tune into that Fantasy Points Prospect Guide for 2022. Yes, Greg Cassell has of NFL Films. He has 200 plus rookie profiles. Wes Huber is coming at you with some Debbie knowledge at you. You got film analysis, strengths, weaknesses, NFL transitions, measurables, combine results, Devy rankings, rookie rankings, all kinds of rankings, except maybe mustache rankings, all in one place for the low price of $25. Hey, you want more analysis there? You want more fantasy news, more prospect news? Head to fantasypoints.com, drop promo code Vipers22 and get 10% off a subscription today. Now, let's get back into some more analysis here as it pertains to Matt Corral. Now, at 6'2", 205 pounds, Corral may be viewed as a small quarterback, but do not let that physical appearance fool you. Corral is in the running to be one of the top quarterbacks in this class, despite not having those physical gifts of a Mailik Willis or even a Kenny Pickett, for that matter, who put together some pretty solid RAS scores themselves. Corral can put up yards both on the ground and in the air, and he does have a little bit of experience playing in a very QB-friendly type offense there at Ole Miss, but you know he can sling the ball. The Mississippi graduate has matured into a better decision-making over the last few years, and he does display some pretty good ball skills with that quick release, and you know he can get the ball where it needs to get to, especially if he is given that opportunity to do so. With that all being said, I mentioned making sure that those notifications are turned up, and I say do it again. Double check right now. Make sure those notifications are on, because when trades happen, when signings go down, when news is about to break, we are bringing it to you here on the Vipers Network, giving you our analysis, telling you what this all means for fantasy, what this means in the National Football League. We've got you covered here on the Vipers Network. And we will see you next time, because we got plenty more content coming your way.